Third conference on monetary policies and challenges in the way of banking production was held in Tehran. Four groups composed of authorities in the monetary market, the manufacturers, economic experts, and the head of Iran's central bank came together in this conference to find and remove barriers standing in the way of manufacturers. The participants are all part of an interrelated chain crucial for any critical financial decision helping Iranian manufacturers.
We must differentiate between real manufacturers and what I call manufacturer lookalikes. The inflation rate is 40% and the interest rate is around 26%. So some people get the money and simply invest it in other sectors of economy. We must come up with standards that let the banks identify real manufacturers. All regional countries have such standards and we shall ratify such laws and regulations as well. Inflation is our main problem and we can reduce it by boosting production.
Professor Hashem Pesaran, a renowned economic expert and a Nobel Prize nominee in economics, talked about interest rate, inflation, and ways to lower cost of production to help manufacturers.
When the interest rate is above inflation expectation, it gives a signal that the government and the central bank wants to improve the inflation, reduce the inflation. But then when inflation falls, then you bring the interest rate down. So what you start with a high, but you gradually reduce it. Eventually, the aim should be to bring the interest rate down because that creates, reduce the cost of production.
The CEO of the biggest private bank in Iran with the most foreign branches, Sadarat Bank, was also present.
We have given around 60% of our loans to manufacturers, companies that create jobs and exporters. It is clear that with an increase in production, inflation decreases. And when inflation decreases, we can give loans with more attractive interest rates to our customers and more people will be employed.
The head of Iran's central bank stated the inflation rate is decreasing and from 40.4% in May of this year has already lowered to 39.3%. The head of Iran's central bank says that inflation is a key variable that must be controlled. He says that other variables in the economy, such as the value of Iran's national currency and foreign exchange rate, cannot be controlled effectively without policies put in place by Iran's central bank in a way to control inflation effectively. Arash Khalatbari, Press TV, Tehran.